Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Harry Keeling, and on behalf of the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation and Alaska Public Media, welcome to Hangar Flying. Tonight we're going to welcome back Mike Toscano. Mike is the president of Association of Unmanned Vehicle Systems International, which is an 8,000 person strong organization, international organization that supports the unmanned aircraft or drones. Welcome back, Mike.
Good to be back here, Harry. Thanks a lot.
Last time your enthusiasm was infectious, talking about what the future is for drones or for unmanned aircraft. I'd like to talk tonight a little bit about what I would call the hot button issues.
Sure.
We talked to Doug Marshall when he was on a couple of weeks ago. One of them is model aircraft. Mm-hmm. Why are they under different regulations?
Well, flying unmanned aircraft is all about safety. And from the standpoint of modelers, there is a special exemption that was granted by Congress on 14 February 2012 that carved out in writing and legally that the modelers and the hobbyists were exempt from the rules of what is known as an aircraft flying in the national airspace. So where the real issue comes into play is that, first of all, the AMA, which is the Academy of Modelers Association, the Academy of Modelers Aeronautics Aeronautics
It's
Modelers
confusing,
Association. Yes, well, the AMA has been around for 77 years, and they've been flying safely for that whole time frame. And they set up a set of rules to follow. They have good practices. They have insurance. They have a lot of the senior people that have been involved with the organization that help bring along and mentor a lot of the younger people that come along into this technology. They have almost 140,000 members, and they have clubs, over 2,000 clubs around the world. So they've done a fantastic job for people that have fallen in love or have a passion for aviation, someone like yourself and many others, and using remotely controlled aircraft has been the predominance of that. Well, now we're getting into these what we call drones, or we call them unmanned aircraft systems, and these aircraft are in many cases very capable to be used for recreational purposes, but also for commercial purposes. And that's one of the biggest things that we're finding out right now, is that when you see that the exact same aircraft that you can buy for several $100s, and you could put a very capable sensor on it for a couple $100s more, you now have something that can be used as a model aircraft or as a hobbyist, but then use that exact same system to actually do commercial applications today. And that's where we're starting to have this conflict or this friction factor.
Good. Well, I think you described it very well, Mike, and our viewers need to understand they can go down and buy a quadcopter or a model aircraft, and they can fly it legally, but they've got to know there's some restrictions on that, to include class of airspace. Mm-hmm. But the line that you mentioned they can't cross is when they take that same system and use it to make money commercially.
Right. Harry, right now the small UAS, and that's things about 55 pounds or less, flying about 400 feet and below. When you look at that airspace, there's not a whole lot of manned aircraft that fly there, except for, probably in Alaska, probably more people fly at that altitude or below that altitude. But for the most part, when you're looking at where these small UAS would be used for, it's for those applications that are going to be within line of sight. And again, as long as you can do it in a safe manner. The FAA is not a policing entity. So the worst that they could ever do to you is fine you $10,000 if you act in a careless and reckless manner. And before they would even do that, they're going to warn you and they're going to go through the proper procedures. What people have to understand is that if you operate any technology irresponsibly or causes an incident, you're going to be held responsible. You're going to be sued if you act in a careless manner and you hurt somebody. Whether it be an unmanned aircraft, whether it be your automobile. If you go 120 miles an hour, even though the technology allows you to do that, and you hurt somebody, you're going to be thrown in jail for an awful long period of time. So what people need to understand is if you're going to utilize this technology for any use, whether it's as a recreational, or if you do have the authorization to do it as a commercial application, or you want to use it for commercial application, or if you don't know the rules of how to operate the system, if you act in an unsafe manner, there are going to be consequences.
Thanks, Mike. We've got about less than a minute left. Any final thoughts for our audience?
This is the only thing I would like to say is that this is a technology that is a global capability. And this technology is being utilized every day. People are flying these things to do a lot of those dirty, dangerous, difficult, and dull missions that I talked about. And they are life-saving. So when you need to have a delivery of medicine from point A to point B, and one of the indications or one of the aspects right now that's being utilized is during the monsoon seasons, 85% of the roads are wiped out in those countries. Well, how do you deliver medicine? How do you deliver water? How do you deliver food to those people that are cut off? This is a great technology that brings things of that capability to all parts of the world, and you're going to see more and more of it. It's here to stay.
Thanks, Mike. Wonderful things. Expect wonderful things.
Thanks
for being on the program. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, November 15th, our fall safety seminar. And one other reminder, the Safety Foundation has an award program called The Right Stuff. If you know a pilot or a mechanic or a dispatcher or anybody involved in aviation that did something that was really remarkable to save somebody's life or in the interest of flying safety, aviation safety, please let us know. We'll consider them for the Right Stuff Award. Until next time, fly safe.